Second left.
Oh, I beat you.
Hello.
Silly.
The kids are home.
They're home. They're in the other room though.
Oh my God.
In that garage that we so smartly renovated into a game room. Like, what if we didn't do that?
I want to put floors in it though.
It's painted blue. It's got a blue epoxy. Looks so
Oh my God, which is already chipped on the ground. And
so random.
And I've just been epoxying patches that are totally the different color, but I just don't care
brown.
anymore.
They look so different. I mean, they look the same.
Use water-based epoxy.
Oh, I know.
Wrong.
I know. Well, we were trying to avoid the amount of chemicals, but that seems silly at this point because we were just like dumping chemicals on the floor anyway.
It's all chemicals. It's all bad.
Yeah. But anyway, we're here. We
Hi.
made it.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Yay. I know. It feels like, I think it's been raining so long in Syracuse. It's been raining since like November.
No, there was like a article that says, November last year.
It's been wet since then, right?
Yes.
It wasn't that how
there's been rain every day since.
I'm also like, what an article! What an article to write. It's been wet since November. Like, who decided that was how it was going to be characterized?
You know what I always loved in Portland, where like the front cover of the Oregonian, my favorite article was like, the weather is able to forecast, or what is it? The Weather Channel is able to forecast the weather, rain.
It's rain. We're now able to forecast rain, and it's like, yeah, duh.
It's already raining.
We live in the Pacific Northwest. Although this looks really like the Pacific Northwest. I was walking Daisy, our dog, this morning, and I was just like, right. It's when you just have to be like, let the rain just hit your body. It's not that bad. You're not going to melt. You're fine. You're fine. But inside, you're really like, I hate this. I hate this. I hate this so much.
But it's so good. I mean, look, the birds are all eating all the worms.
The gardens are growing. This one, this is like a random Mother's Day plant that's still here. But
my Evelyn.
But our garden is doing great. Like, that's the update.
Things. There's just like there's so many things I want to do this house and I can't do them right now.
Well, you're obsessed. Can you talk? You need to get off your chest for the listeners. Your obsession with cutting down the front yard.
Okay,
tree in our front yard.
This tree is like 6 feet away from the sewer line. You can see it because like in Syracuse, this is fascinating. They all have these like pipe vents. Because guess what comes out of it? It's the gases from the sewer that come out of everybody's lawn. Like, and it's all of them. Like, who created this system? I don't know. Because we didn't have that in Portland, did we?
I mean, if we did, we didn't know it. Like,
no, there was the pipe is just like this little, and it has a mushroom cap, and it's literally right smack in the middle of our lawn.
And I think in Portland we had a more modern house that didn't have like a basement and things like that. So I wonder if they just,
is that what it is?
It came out of some other part of the house. The house farted in a different way.
Oh my God, it's literally
what it is, right? That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
So the tree that the previous owners so smartly,
it's a brand new tree,
stupidly planted right next to the sewer line is driving Janie crazy.
And it's a Bradford pear tree, which like for the first year I was like, what is that smell? And it was literally the tree flowering. Like it's known, like it's banned in 2024, Pennsylvania and I think South Carolina, I don't know, one of the Carolinas, they banned growing this tree again.
Well, it's an invasive species. Like, it's all the wrong things. And that's, of course, what was chosen for our front yard. So, but this poor house has seen some, it's seen worse things than a tree that smells bad.
We're doing good.
So we're bringing it back to life.
Rather than buying a brand new house again, we are fixing up a house that is already there.
But also, this house is 1,000 square feet. It's small.
It's tiny,
right? Let everybody know.
But like with
this
the basement,
is our tiny home.
With the basement, it's like 2,000 square feet.
That's like semi-finished. It's not. We didn't finish it all the way because the walls kind of leak.
Oh my God!
And so
I will never forget. It was like pouring rain. The gutters were definitely clogged because it was just like pouring outside of the gutters, and like it's right outside of our bedroom. And I looked downstairs, and there's just like
water.
Puddles.
Just
puddles
everywhere.
of water. And I'm like, WTF, what did we do?
I know. And also we were talking last night about the first time when we were in this house, because we bought this. I mean, this is so upsetting. Like, we bought it with no inspection because the real estate market is so competitive. It remains competitive that if you decide to ask for we were already in like kind of a bidding war. And if you decide to ask for a inspection, you kind of like lose. Like, you lose the house. Like, because the owner's like, whatever. I have like 6 other people who don't care and are just going to buy. So you buy this house, like, you get to come tour it like one time. And then you buy it, basically being like, cross your fingers. And so we were in the house.
So many red flags now that I look at it.
Well, I know, which we knew, and we knew it was a fixer-upper. We just didn't know the extent of the fixing-upping that we were going to have to do. And so when we turned on the AC the first time, because it was summer, do you remember?
I feel like we're going to die.
We like turned on the AC and all of us kind of like fell asleep right away. I was like, oh my God, are we having like carbon monoxide poisoning? Because it was so old. The AC system was so old and it had so much mold going through it that it made us sick.
Oh my God.
And we had to have that replaced immediately.
Completely.
So yeah, new AC system. You had the walls downstairs sealed, and not to mention that we completely gutted the kitchen, the bathroom, and then did the garage. And Janie did all the baseboards, all the trim, painted the whole house, painted the outside of the house by herself. So you did a lot. But also, remember last night I was saying to you, like, can you accept that the house is like, not that it's done, because this house will never be done. This woman, this house, she needs some extra care because she's seen a lot of things. She was a rental house for a long time.
1955.
Yeah, and so like, and it really hadn't been updated since 1955. So, but I'm like, we poured a lot of money into this house. So I asked you if you could accept that it's like done-ish, and you said no immediately.
Well, we haven't even touched the landscaping. I want to put a patio in the backyard, but and I want to totally fix the front and have more curb appeal. Why? I don't know. That seems the thing.
Well,
I blame HGTV.
Well, we have like the iron like railing and then the concrete stairs that Janie fixed last year, which
are now broken because I had an air bubble, so it like started to raise this past year.
And then I stepped on it and like it flattened.
She's like, oh look, this is like up. Oh,
sorry.
Oh, it's broken.
It's broken. Yeah, and the landscaping is just straight out of 1955. It's got like the Edward Scissorhands kind of like before he cut some bushes, you know.
But like now I'm like, maybe I'll just make a shape out of them.
Oh my God. When you said that to me the other day, she's like, I'm gonna make a shape out of the bushes. I'm like, okay, that sounds like a great idea or a recipe for a disaster.
I think you even said like, not like a la Edward Scissorhands. I was like, absolutely Edward Scissorhands.
I'm gonna make like a mouse out of that thing.
Maybe not that far. Like, I'm not gonna be able to make an animal.
I'm like, maybe make them
maybe
into
an animal.
A ball, but then
it's gonna be like Beetlejuice, like
if they're like
weird shapes.
It's my art.
Just like Tim Burton inspired.
Oh my God, I think that'll go over great in our neighborhood.
We'll be the talk of the town.
We already are. I love you. You don't think that people are already like, oh, what are those lesbians up to?
It's crazy.
Because when we were doing the renovations, we had a million trucks and dudes coming in and out, and like people were just like, what are they doing to that house?
Well, we even had Stanley Steamer come in and like clean out the vents because the vents needed cleaning. That was gross.
That was my craziest like experience that I didn't know that you could clean your vents, which was exciting to learn.
Shout out to Brooke Adams because I only know that because of her.
And then when they come, it's like a Stanley Steamer truck. It's like when this technology, you're like, oh, I mean, it makes sense. They literally hook up what is a large vacuum to your vents, your ducts downstairs, like in the basement of this wet basement in the house. And then they just start sucking stuff out. And then there's like pumps on the back of the truck that go up and down. And you're just like, oh, okay, I guess that works. You know, it worked enough that with that plus a new HVAC system, we are healthy.
Oh my God. So much money.
But that was last year. That was a year ago.
Oh, and don't forget the new roof we put on.
Who could forget the roofing? That was an exciting day when like 20 men descended on our house and gave us a new roof in like 3 hours or less.
Well, and we come to find out there was like a little beehive thing, which we were able to get out.
A little wasp nest.
Yeah,
that was
and needed a new screen on the vent there. So
there were so many exciting things that happened. Like the completely rotted floor in the bathroom that they like. I went into the bathroom one day when the construction guys were here, and it just looked, it was like a hole into the basement. Yeah, they took out the entire floor.
They had to. It was so gross. It was like leaking.
Yeah, I don't even want to know. Especially in a rental house, I don't want to know why that floor was rotted out.
Well, and we could have had a fire because they found there was like a live outlet wire that somebody just covered up and mudded it and put it in the wall, and they discovered it, and like you could have had a bad fire.
Okay, so all of these amazing home renovation stories, the moral of the story is you guys were lucky to be alive.
Dum-dums.
Oh my god.
But it's an experience, right? Everything is an experience. Everything happens for a reason. We were meant to go through this process because our other idea was to buy some farmland and renovate that whole space into like a huge creative studio that, you know, would just cost millions of dollars, but whatever.
Oh my god. We were willing to go into so much debt. We were like, we'll get bank loans.
It'll be great. We've got great credit.
Oh my god.
We've run successful businesses. It'll be fine.
Fine. We had a business plan, everything. But also, like, renovating this small house taught us a lot of lessons, because then we looked at, like, renovating a huge barn. And I was like, no.
Let's renovate a barn that like animals have been pooping in for like ever. What a great idea. I started looking up what we would have to do
Well, that's the thing. Then we learned what happens in barns, and we're like, wait, no, maybe not.
Because like we would have to treat the wood inside there.
Yes.
Like
Wash
so many.
the poop
I'm like,
off the
what
wall.
are we thinking? This is like dumb. Who came up with this cray idea?
Title of app: farting houses and pooping walls.
Stupid.
We've been around the kids way too long.
Well, and then like, so as time goes by, you know, my back starts to hurt a lot more.
Oh my God.
Like thinking about.
You're losing the younger demographic.
I am. I don't care. This is what happens in your late 40s.
This is an old people podcast now. I'm going to start talking about my minor surgeries soon.
That's right. Not major surgery.
Minor.
A procedure.
It's called a procedure.
Procedure. Thank you, Billy Crystal. But like, you know, thinking about being able to stand, I think about the chef that I worked for, like how Daniel was able to stand even at that age. But I don't know what I did to my back, but I'm just having issues, like wonderful chronic pain, that I'm like, how am I going to do this and like work 24/7?
Right.
And trying to help renovate and build this like land and whatnot doesn't make sense anymore.
So we decided to move the whole thing online instead.
Yeah.
I think it was a good decision.
Well, AI comes out and it's changing things. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll still do this in the future. You know, when
this
the kids,
like life.
Well, you know, when we don't have to worry about school systems, right? The idea was to live on this farm.
Oh, you mean the farm?
With the kids, and then build this whole thing and just work there, right? But you couldn't find something in a good school system.
Right.
So that's why we ended up here in this tiny home, and I didn't want to pay like $3,000 rent for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath that wasn't worth it. And Camilla's.
Yeah, because we were in an apartment. Yeah. Don't forget to give the context. People don't know what you're talking about.
I don't need to know. This is an apartment that you don't need.
You're doing a lot of hand gestures that no one's going to see.
I don't care.
And you're like...
I'm old now. I don't care.
You're so focused.
I don't have better insurance. Now I lost my train of thought.
Oh, fail, Carrie. Fail. Yeah.
Oh, so like, you know,
explain to us.
Maybe we'll still do it in the future because there's going to be so much robotics and AI that people are going to want to come back to doing like fine arts with their actual hands. And they'll have so much time to do it because robots will be doing everything.
I know. When we saw those humanoid robots, the Tesla ones yesterday, and we were just like looking at that video, and I was just kind of like, what are we going to even do? Like, I'm gonna hold on to my little paintbrush because, like, I feel like that's all we got left. Like, it's like, but they'll be able to do that too, easy. But I mean, it won't be good, but they'll do it. But it's like, I feel like we're hurtling towards this like massive wave of technology, or the technology's hurtling at us. I'm not even sure anymore, like who's zooming who at this point. But it's like, what is this all for? Like, what are we trying to do here? I'm not even totally sure anymore. Because like, yes, do I love having AI tools inside of all the software I use for work? Sure, I do. I like having like a spell check. I like it when it suggests the words and it's faster and I can just, you know, like all that sentence is done. Like, thank you, Google Docs. You know, but it's sort of like, that's mildly helpful, but sometimes it gets it wrong and then I have to go back and correct it and it's like twice as much work. And it's just like,
my life is hard. AI doesn't get me.
It's hard. It's like that Snuggie commercial. Do you remember that? Like, blankets are hard. I'm just like, well, I'm gonna wear a blanket instead. I think it's better. But yeah, it's all very hard, but it's also like when it takes over, because it will. Like, I mean, don't you feel the inevitability of it?
Well,
like,
I'm kind of excited because like by the time we're gonna need assisted living, I'm hoping it's robots because I am gonna trust a robot more than a human.
Well, the robot will show up to like change your sheets, right? Like it's not like, you know, it's not like they get tired. So that's the other thing is like I guess there will be some benefits like that in terms of work, but I don't know. I really think we're gonna end up like the humans in WALL-E. Like, you know, the ones in the WALL-E where they're like in their little ships and they're all just drinking their soda and watching their screens. I'm like, I don't feel like that's that far away.
But like, what did they do for work?
The humans in WALL-E, well, they escaped Earth and they were just on this ship and that's all they did.
Nobody had to do anything.
They didn't do anything. Yeah, they were basically like prisoners in a way. Of their own making. Dun, dun, dun. Environmental messages in Disney movies.
Is that your next paper?
I mean, there's no, you know why? There's so many papers already written about that. The Disney scholarship is robust.
Wow,
yeah,
fascinating.
If you're like, has there been a paper written about this and any Disney movie? The answer is 100% yes. Yeah. Yeah, I know. But I always, you know that I always have a paper in mind.
All the time.
Yeah. But I'm also
robots.
Yeah, robots. It's gonna happen. Yeah, is it gonna feel weird when they first like enter our homes? When you're gonna be like, "Hey, Jeeves."
I like that you already named it Jeeves.
Like, remember that you told me the Ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves.
Remember that search engine?
Now we're really sounding dated. I mean,
remember those search engines from the early '90s before Google? I just, you know, I love getting old. I really do. Special. I like accumulating decades of knowledge and then not being asked to share it all the time. Like, literally, like, nobody wants to know. No one cares.
They do.
Like, even being a college professor, no one really cares.
At least one or two students in your class does.
You have to, like, force it, like, a little bit. Like, hey, do you want to know? And they're like, not really. And you're like, but it's going to be cool. And they're like, okay.
This is why we have to find our people who we could just, like, sit down at dinner and talk about this.
I know. And that's why people talk about procedures.
Oh my God. When we came back from Oregon and came back to the East Coast and like we had dinner.
You made it sound like we were on a journey.
It is a journey.
Like
it's always a journey.
Like a covered wagon that we came back. We got some dysentery along the way. It was the Oregon Trail. Okay.
Dysentery.
Sorry.
Why?
I am really focused on that today.
So I need to stop losing my train of thought.
Like, I almost
maybe this is why I almost didn't want to do the podcast today because I was like, I wasn't motivated. Now you just have me
it's
going.
It's because we woke up late. We woke up at.
I know, because the kids don't have school, and I didn't have to make lunch.
8:00 is like so late. Okay, go ahead. Okay. Sorry.
So we come back to the city, and we're like, let's go like visit my sister and have friends over, and we'll like catch up with everyone. So the best is like we all get together, and all of a sudden I found myself, we're all talking about our back pains and our leg pains, and I'm like on the ground showing them my PT exercises that I wanted. Like, have you tried this one? They're like, oh yeah, totally. That's like the best one. And like that's our conversation.
Conversation is like, have you tried this stretch? Do you know this exercise?
Of course.
Also, these are the friends that used to run marathons that are like, I'm like, oh, you guys running? No, we're not running marathons anymore. That's crazy. Do you do Pilates? I think is actually that's like a 40, like mid to late 40s question because Pilates is the secret to a lot of things. It's basically PT disguised as like dancer moves.
I mean, technically, wasn't Jane Fonda like really doing that with all her videos back in the day?
Aerobics like definitely a precursor for sure, but like so much more
academic lame. It's a precursor. Okay, chat carry PT.
Why you gotta call out the vocab every time? Every time.
It's been almost 20 years.
I know, but I love the big words. It makes me feel good. There's like a little bit of dopamine that just
oh my God,
pew,
it's the
every
dopamine
time.
rush. That's what it is.
Swear to God, it took me so long to realize like why do I love using big words? Because when you use a big word in the right context, like in the sentence, and it makes sense, it feels so good. And then your wife makes fun of you, and then you're like, oh, okay, that's fine.
It's okay. You have other academics.
There's a lot going on
you guys
in here.
can nerd out together. And
I use precursor, and they're like, of course. They have an even bigger word. Like precursor is like child's play. They're like,
it's adorable.
I wish I could think of a bigger word right now, but I can't.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, Jane Fonda aerobicizing, like, and all that jazzercise stuff was the precursor to Pilates, probably. But I also think that Pilates came out of like ballet type dance and stuff like that, like where you have to really be strong.
I like that you're very serious ballet.
Well, I'm thinking, I'm just analyzing my brain bank of what do I know about this, and it's not a lot. So
Heard.
just making stuff up now. It's
Cool.
fine. It's based on Emma Lovewell from Peloton. That's all my Pilates knowledge. I know, I'm really good at it.
Amazing.
Every answer to every question that you've ever asked me is like based at least in some truth, but I always kind of like, I always have an answer.
Chat Carrie PT. That's
Yeah.
what I'm going to call it now.
Chat carry PT. It's like
Almost.
almost.
But
But
enough.
That's part of it.
It's enough.
I know. What are you gonna do today, Janny?
Well, I'm light on work. It's starting to lighten up. I'm seeing a light at the end of the tunnel for a nice little break
Nice.
before I start doing more again. And the kids are home. So when the kids are home, it's like I feel like I should be doing something to get them off the screens. So I'm thinking we should do our idea of like doing an art
Project.
break
Yeah.
where
That
we all
sounds
do
good.
art
In the basement.
in the basement.
Not your favorite place.
Not my favorite.
The basement, which has been sealed and has been dry ever since the time that we discussed.
We renovated. We didn't even put walls because I'm afraid it's going to start leaking again. And I'm just like, well, I don't want mold to grow behind the walls,
No.
right? Like, unless we were going to do a whole French drain, and I cannot pour that much more money into this house. It just doesn't make sense.
No. See, that's the thing. We have to accept where we are, accept what we have, and decide to move forward with what we have. Because that we're really good at it. And the basement I love because it's like my little cave that I go down and write in. And I've got Christmas lights all like on the ceiling.
I like
and
caves.
yeah, I just like the cozy feeling down there. But I think I'm the only one who finds it cozy.
No, Evelyn loves being down there too, and
Yeah.
Taylor will go down there if he's not playing Fortnite.
Yeah. Well, and he's got the basketball hoops down there that
Oh my
he has
God.
like, so it's like the
Costco
arcade,
purchase.
you know, the ones like the ball is like kind of far away but not too far, and you know you get points, whatever, and it only goes up to 99, and he's mastered that a long time ago, and then he got bored with it and he didn't want to do it anymore.
I know, because he like
Doesn't go
did
up
it,
to
and I'm like,
100.
It's like so annoying. Why wouldn't you do more than 100?
Don't they know that a 10-year-old is going to just be like trying to like beat that really fast?
Although he should do the less time. So if you do 30 seconds rather than a minute.
Maybe we'll set out a new challenge for him. Yes.
He'd be down with that.
Yeah. So he actually challenged himself the other day. He was playing a 4-player game by himself. Yeah, I know. I don't even know how. There's only 2 hoops. I'm not sure exactly how that was working, but he was just doing a lot. Very,
He's a funny dude,
you know, they're just talented kids.
obviously.
I know. And they're like finishing school. They've only got 1 more month left. We've got
my
so
God,
many
and then the summer
activities that we
begins.
need to do before summer and camps. And
Short camps.
yeah, I know we're only doing like 1 week at a time camps, right? Maybe we have one that's like 2 weeks. But our kids don't like camp, so that's kind of a problem.
I do like we put them in a different camp every other week or like every summer, and only to kind of realize, oh no, it's not the camp, it's our kids.
Because they were like, I hate this camp, they're so mean, and they yell at us. And then they go to the next one, I hate this camp, they're so mean, and they yell at us. And I'm just like, oh no.
Only to realize like the yelling that they don't like, because we don't yell in this house, like
Ever.
Ever.
Like really ever.
ever. Only if like safety voice is what we call it, right? Because they're doing something so dangerous we have to yell. But they're like yelling to like support you, like, go, come on, go, go, go. And they see that as yelling, like, oh my God, stop yelling at me.
Or like, Taylor, I need you to go over here. You know, like
Yeah, and
directional yelling.
yeah,
And no,
it's-
very bad.
Angry.
Yeah.
You're mad at me.
It's like anything that's like a correction, like so we don't yell, you know, right? But then it becomes like a negative kind of, where you're just like, "Ugh," like it's
fine.
We're not gonna
Get
yell.
over it.
So yeah, I know. It's not like when we were growing
The
up where
80s
they
in
yelled
me.
all the time. Yeah, I know. I'm just kind of like, then you have to like self-correct where you're just like, yeah, you want to be like, you're fine, you're okay, you know, and then you can't be like, you have to be like, tell me about it.
I'm like almost glad that they're being brought up on the East Coast, because they definitely don't yell in the like West Coast.
No, and I think it's hard to balance those like it's so important to like recognize feelings and how everyone feels about things, and like what do you need going forward and all that. Like that has its place for sure, but then there is also like we have to do stuff. Like we have to like you have to understand that like your gym teacher is going to yell at you, and he's going to say things like that are, you know, like do this now kind of stuff, because he's got kids running everywhere. And so just do it, and it's not a negative, and nobody's mad at you.
I do enjoy though, like when we go into parent teacher conferences, all the teachers are like, they are very well spoken and they just tell me how they're feeling, and I was just like, well, yeah.
And what's that word that all the teachers use that they have? What is it? What's that one word that begins with a V? These like words that they use that are big vocabulary.
Oh.
Oh my God.
I'm like, what?
I'm gonna put like a clock on your face.
Oh my God, wait. Did Taylor just came in because like they have in Fortnite that you get to talk to Darth Vader if you get him, right? And then Darth Vader even complimented him on his vocabulary.
The Darth Vader AI is like, you have a great vocabulary.
It's creepy.
I know. And Taylor also like they're so good at recognizing how they're feeling and what they need, and they express it. They say like, I need, like Evelyn even expressed like one time that she needed more like comfort, you know, and she's not somebody who really puts her feelings out there as much. And Taylor said that he doesn't like his allergy medicine because it makes him lash out.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, amazing.
Like,
I'm so glad you even know that. So it's like, it's incredible to watch that emotional growth, but I also feel like we don't have that like hard shell either, you know, like we're not like, then when the kids come and they want to be like tough, it's hard because they just don't have a lot of practice in being like tough.
No. Well, because we don't talk to them like they're tiny children. Like, we talk to them like they're regular people, so they know how to talk like a regular person.
Yep.
But that's not how everybody else raises their children.
And I think it's interesting, like everybody's different and everybody does it their own way, which is totally fine. But I also think like this, what we're trying to do is have like authority with them, which we do, and respect though. That like Evelyn always knows that, and Taylor too, that if you did something wrong, like I'm not going to come down on you super hard about it, but I'm just going to say like, hey, that thing that you just did, don't do it again. Here's why, you know. And then we have like a mutual respect kind of conversation rather than like you're so like, I can't believe you did that, you know, whatever.
Yeah. No, they almost need a reason to do anything, including like these tests that they have to do. Taylor's taking the state tests, and he's just like looking at it like, what's the reason for this? If there's no reason for it, he's just like, whatever, here, I put a number down.
I mean, no, he did his best, and he tried really hard.
But like,
because there's still the peer pressure of like doing it and stuff.
Yeah, but it's like,
I know, but there's no
motivation for it, right? Like, yeah, I will do it because you told me to. Like, there's no, like, if there were more motivation and understanding why he needs to do something, he's more likely to do it. Yeah,
there's no like personal betterment really. It feels like coming out of that. Like, because if he's tasked with learning, like he learned all about the American Revolution recently, and he can tell us the whole history of the United States. Like history. We talked about the Boston Tea Party. We talked about Paul Revere. We talked about all that, and he can just pull up those dates and beautiful like ADHD sparkly way. Like it's just all in there. But it's then these standardized tests like that just feel super pointless. And I have to say, I have felt that way my entire life as well. Like where I'm just like, what is this SAT? Why do I have to know these analogies of these words? I don't care.
Why do I have to do word problems?
Yeah, so it's
I don't care how many apples Jill and Jack have.
Oh my God, when we're doing the homework with them, I'm just like, Taylor, I think this is a multiplication problem. But yeah, we're getting there. Everybody's working on their stuff.
What are you doing today?
I am writing as usual, but I'm gonna finish a couple chapters that I have in the works, and just I've got like writing for me, and then I've got writing that I do for other people, and I'm just kind of balancing those two things right now and making sure that I get what I need to get done. Here's my real challenge is I want to do everything, like all of it, all the time, all at once. That's always my inclination, is like I will dip in between like 4 different projects all the time. And to a point that gets me somewhere, because I always have this philosophy that I'm better with 10 tables than I am with one. If I was a server, you know, like I get efficient across the projects. But there comes a point where there's diminishing returns, where you don't get efficient across the projects. And then you start to like almost like do one more than the other. and then there's one that's like over here all of a sudden, and you're like, oh crap, I gotta get back to that one. So then like the ADHD is not working to my advantage anymore. So that's when I have to say I'm gonna do 1 and 2 and 3 and start to like structure it a little bit more. Woo! And spill my coffee. So that's where I'm at today. I'm doing 1, 2, 3.
And taking a break to do art.
Yeah, and taking a break to do art this afternoon.
And work out.
Because I do have that painting that is almost done, but I just am like very frustrated that I can't do that last
You have
detail.
to wait till it dries.
Painting in oils is so wonderful for the most part because it never dries. So that means that I can always fix it and move it and correct it. Like you can, like you can never. I always think of it in a way that like you can never really make a mistake because it's never really dry and it's not really like done. But this is a problem when I want to put one last detail on one last thing and it's not dry.
Did you try using some varnish?
Oh no, I have that Damar varnish down there.
Use a little bit of Damar varnish. Is it the varnish or is it? No, yeah,
it's the varnish, not the
linseed oil. So you put a little bit of white in it together, and then it like at least you have a white sheen because that's the part that you want to write in anyway, right?
Yeah.
And then like a dab of it, not a lot, but that'll dry faster.
Oh, but I already have had this part drying for like 2 days now. So do I do that or do I just let it dry? Like,
let it dry.
How much patience do I have is the real question.
I don't know. You could just put straight up like varnish on it.
I could
that
just
would be faster.
Or I could just see if I can like.
I have to fix everything and just make it harder for you.
I'm just gonna scrape it into the existing paint and see what happens. But yeah, no, I
make sure you practice on a piece of paper first.
Come on now. Yep, that sounds like me. I'm gonna practice.
Well, and make sure the ink is coming out as you want it.
I practiced
even if it's just putting lines on it.
I practiced once when I tried to draw this thing with the paintbrush and it didn't work. So I wiped it off with a paper towel and then I painted over it again to start again.
Awesome. Did you take the paint off of the little marker?
No, I didn't do it with the marker yet. I tried it with a paintbrush and it didn't work. I'm trying to write words on this painting, which is why this is so intricate and I can't do it.
Oil takes a long time. Look it up because I feel like it's definitely more than 3 days.
Like it's amazing the amount of research that you want me to do for this one painting, which I'm not gonna do, just so you know. Like I'm not gonna be let me look at how long this is gonna take to dry.
Ask Carrie GPT, whatever.
It's such a fun creative process. Let me look at my phone the whole time. I'm filled with funny voices lately.
Apparently.
I was doing a funny voice with Taylor last night when I was putting him to bed. Because Taylor likes to do this.
Oh, is that why you guys were laughing so loudly that I couldn't get Evelyn to sleep?
Oh my God, I was saying to him, I'm like, you are going to get me in trouble with Mama. You have to be quiet. Like, 'cause you come in and you're like, you guys are being too loud.
I almost did. But she fell asleep.
Taylor does that funny sound where he does the ew, ew. And so he was doing ew, and I went like, ew, like really low. And he was just like dying. Like, just. There's something about making your kid laugh, like really genuinely, that is amazing.
It is best.
Yes. But I can feel you wrapping me up.
Yes.
So, bye.
Telepathic memories between
like,
lesbians.
There's a lot of like, yep.
You know I'm already working in my head, all the things that I have to do on the computer. And I still want to work out too, so.
Better get to it. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.